What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has continued to maintain its bullish structure. On April 22nd, Bitcoin hit that $7,700 price target that we've been discussing for the past few weeks. We have seen a little bit of rejection off that level because there is some historic price action there. But overall, Bitcoin has maintained its bullish structure and we are continuing to see higher lows. So we're going to discuss a few possibilities for the price of Bitcoin today. And before we get started, I want to get as many people as we can to hit that like button. I put out a tweet today that has a very important message. And the tweet goes like this: sometimes the market is just bullish and you have to accept that you're going to make money. This is difficult for Bitcoin holders to understand after 2 years of bearish price action. But if you want to take full advantage of what is to come, you have to have this realization. If the crypto market continues to remain bullish, I think a lot of people are going to be sort of in disbelief that things are actually bullish. And it's possible that some traders out there are going to be sabotaging themselves, just expecting more bearish price action, because for the past 2 years, that's what we've all had to deal with. But people need to understand that at some point, the market is going to become bullish again, and you have to accept that you're actually going to make money. This is actually part of trading psychology. After a certain amount of time, people just become way too used to what has been going on in the past, and they think that that's what's going to be continuing into the future, when in fact things may actually change soon. And one thing that a lot of people have been discussing recently is the stock to flow model. CryptoWatch recently just added the stock to flow model onto the platform. And if you click on the analysis drop down tab and you scroll down to where it says stock to flow and you click on that, it'll bring up the stock to flow model on your chart. Definitely sign up for CryptoWatch using that link below and check it out. I'm looking at Bitcoin on the weekly chart right now, and what I find extremely interesting is that Bitcoin has been trading sideways for the exact amount of time that the stock to flow model has suggested it would. If you go on Google and you type in stock to flow, it's going to come up with the definition, and it says stock to flow measures the issuance of new Bitcoins each block against Bitcoin's existing supply. And looking at Bitcoin from 2011 and on, we can see that Bitcoin follows this model very closely. When the model suggests Bitcoin should be increasing in price, we increase in price. And when the model suggests that Bitcoin's going to be trading sideways, we actually trade sideways until the next halving, and then we see the next bull market begin. And recently here in 2017 going into 2018, we began to trade sideways as this model suggests. And now, guys, we are coming up on the next halving. And this is potentially going to be bringing us into the next bull phase according to this model. And as you guys know, I'm very bullish on crypto overall. So my analysis agrees with the stock to flow model as well. And also, before I continue this analysis, a lot of people have been talking about how they think that Bitcoin is going to have a dump after the halving, that there's going to be a halving dump. I'm not necessarily relying on that idea of like a, sell the news event for the halving, because we already had a major capitulation candle here, a major drop. And this blue 21-week EMA you see on the chart right here, I think once we get above that, that's going to be a pretty bullish signal that we may actually see continued upside going into the halving. I think the halving dump already took place. But again, as we discussed in some of my past videos recently, one thing that could cause Bitcoin to see a dump is actually the stock market, right? The stock market could cause Bitcoin to see a slight pullback before we rally going into the halving. But also, as we discussed in some of my previous videos, Bitcoin can sometimes trade against the stock market if the demand is high enough. I think there's going to be days where we do correlate with the stock market heavily and some days where we don't, depending on the demand for Bitcoin going into the halving. I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart right now, and we can see that Bitcoin just got some rejection off of 7,700. And for the past few weeks, if you guys have been watching my content, we've been talking a lot about how Bitcoin will at least hit 7,700 before any kind of pullback, and we did hit 7,700. What's interesting to see is that there is not much selling taking place right now, and there hasn't really been any selling taking place since our low at 38.58. The selling pressure has been very low in the market because these are very cheap prices for Bitcoin historically. These are very cheap prices for Bitcoin, and I think people understand that. And we also have the halving coming up, so there's that bullish speculative demand. So it seems like people don't really have much of a reason to sell Bitcoin right now as we're entering a bullish event. Now, again, looking at the daily chart, the $7,700 level is pretty historic. We had support here in 2019 from September, October, and we had resistance here in 2019 from end of November going into end of December. Overall, this has been a pretty pivotal price point for Bitcoin recently, as of recently in 2019. So if we can get above 7,700, this would actually be a very bullish sign for Bitcoin. You know, if I drop a horizontal line on the $8,200, or I would say 8,250 actually, in between 8,250 and 8,500 would likely be where the next upside target is going to be sitting, because we do have some previous support around 8,500 and previous support around 8,250. And we also have previous resistance at 8,250 in this range right here. In between 8,250 and 8,500 is going to be that next upside target if we break 7,700. And if we get above that area, I'd be looking to target closer to 9,200 actually, which is this previous resistance here. We also had support here and resistance here. But the first target is going to be around 8,250. And if we just drop into the 12-hour chart, what I find really interesting as well is we've seen two Adam and Eve double top patterns recently. Two Adam and Eve double tops, both resulting in a set of lower lows before the next push to the upside. And I do think it's possible that we're seeing some bot action here, bots painting the price on the chart. So if we do sell off, maybe, this is very speculative, but maybe, you know, Bitcoin would see an Adam and Eve double top set of lower lows before the next push to the upside. This is just one speculative scenario that I've been thinking about. But overall, just looking at our resistance and our upward sloping trend, Bitcoin could be maintaining this structure and looking for a bullish continuation pattern. And also, if Bitcoin does break below our upward sloping trend line, it's possible that the market could be looking to target 6430 once again. Now, as I've said in the past, as long as we're holding 6430, that's still overall pretty bullish. If we start to break below 6430, this is when things could start to get a lot more bearish and we'd be looking for some lower targets, right? And even if the stock market does see a reversal and a drop again, a lot of it's going to have to do with the velocity of the drop, how fast the market is dropping. Is it slow? Is it a slow stair step down in the stock market? Or is it a quick, sharp capitulation candle that we're going to see? You know, it really depends. If we don't see a quick drop in the stock market and things are a little bit stable during the sell-off, Bitcoin could still continue up uninterrupted. The bullish demand for the halving could actually outweigh any sort of bearish sentiment from the global markets. It's possible, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Again, the Bitcoin stock market correlation is very circumstantial. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But overall, Bitcoin has just been creating higher lows. And as I've said in all of my previous videos, as long as we're just creating higher lows, I gotta remain bullish on Bitcoin. In long term, I'm extremely bullish on crypto in general. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. A few things before you go. I have a Twitter. Definitely follow me on Twitter. I have a Discord. We have a growing community on Discord now. A lot of cool people in the Discord chat. And also, if you guys want to support my work on this channel, if you like this content, if it brings you value, definitely join the Patreon to support the channel. And you can also take a look at my altcoin portfolio, the altcoins that I'm accumulating. And I'm actually using CryptoWatch to manage my altcoin portfolio. So definitely sign up for CryptoWatch as well. And I will see you guys in the next video.